All right. Welcome to the Sales Talk with Contractors podcast. This is episode number 1. I'm your host, Kevin Robert. This is the very first episode of this podcast, so it's probably going to be pretty horrible. I've never done a podcast before, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't have like any notes or anything like that, so just kind of freestyling it. But I'm sure it'll get better as this goes on. This is the very first episode. This is actually going to be like a direct to camera podcast. What I mean by that is we're actually going to have a camera on me and you're going to be able to see me talking to you. We're not going to have this cheap microphone background that I just found on Google Images like 5 minutes before I decided to do this podcast. So we're going to have this cheap background on there that you see for probably the next like 2-3 episodes. Is going to be audio only. So you'll just see that podcast or that image back there if you're watching this on YouTube. But then after that, we're going to have a camera on me and whoever else is on the podcast. And it'll just be a lot better. We'll probably have like better microphones. We have some stuff coming in. I actually just leased a new office for my for the home improvement company over here. So I set up a little area inside of the office specifically for this podcast. So we got like motivational paintings and stuff in the background and stuff like that, right? Because if you're going to start a podcast, you have to have motivational paintings in the background. Otherwise, I just don't think it's that legit, right? So that's what's going to be coming up. And then just so you know, this podcast is going to be all about the sales and marketing side of the business. I'm sure we'll venture into talking about different stuff as the episodes go on. But that's mainly what it's going to be about. And this is going to be a guest-based podcast. Okay, so the plan is to not just have me talking to you guys every single episode. It'll probably just be me for the next couple episodes. But then after that, I plan on having guests on every single time. Okay, and the guests are basically going to be just other industry, quote unquote, beasts. Okay. So people that are just absolutely killing it in a certain aspect of the home improvement business and with a certain like medium, right? So people that are killing it with Google ads for their company, people that are doing some weird sales thing that's working really well, people that are killing it with Facebook ads. I have a guy that's doing really, really good with the Nextdoor app, which is something I know nothing about. So I'd be kind of excited to have him on and kind of learn what he's doing also, as I'm sure you guys would. And all the people that we're going to have on here, the plan is to only have people that are actually in the business and are practicing what they're going to come on here and preach. Okay, so I don't want to have like just marketing people on here that have never sat in front of a homeowner in their life and sold a job and are probably going to try to sell us something on the call. I don't want those people on here. I only want to have actual contractors and guys that are in the industry and are actually extremely, extremely successful on this with the stuff that they're going to come on here and talk to all of us about. Okay. And when I say all of us, I just mean like 3 people, because I think we have like 3 subscribers right now. All right. But it's the very first episode. So 3 subscribers before an episode even dropped. Pretty good, right? This is the very first video on the YouTube channel. So if you want to subscribe, that would be cool. So I think I'm supposed to tell you that at some point anyways, like drop a comment, subscribe, something like that. So go do that. That would help out a lot. Mainly because you're just going to get notifications. Okay, so when you subscribe to the channel, you're going to get notifications. So every time we drop a podcast, a new episode, then you should get a notification that we did that. And then you could come on and see whatever we were talking about, right? Because we're going to be bringing in some really cool people and some really popular people in the industry that you probably know as soon as I'll mention their name. And I think you guys are really going to like what we're going to be talking about. All right. So that's that. Make sure you subscribe to it. That'd be pretty cool. That way, you know, we're not just like a year into this thing and we have like 4 subscribers, because I'll probably just stop, right? That's pretty, that would kind of hurt my feelings. But anyways, so for this very first podcast, this very first episode rather, I think what I'm going to talk about is Facebook ads, because for some reason I'm known for that. I don't know why. I've done way more direct mail, and I prefer to do direct mail over Facebook ads. But the cool thing is my Facebook ad strategy is basically what I do with direct mail, and I just do the same exact thing with Facebook, just with a couple other, like, you know, like a landing page and stuff like that. It's a little bit different, right? But it's basically the same overall strategy. So I want to go over that strategy here, and then you could use that strategy for Facebook ads, and then you could also use it for direct mail and pretty much any advertising you're doing within the home improvement industry. The stuff we're going to go over here is going to work for that. Okay. I think the reason I'm known for Facebook ads is because I do get really, really high response with Facebook ads. We bring in leads for most products. I mean, over here we sell kitchens, bathrooms, roofs, and energy efficient windows. But I used to help guys out with their ads. I don't do that anymore because I just don't have time. But I used to help out contractors running their ads and stuff. And we've pretty much ran ads on Facebook for like every single project there is out there. And we usually bring in leads between $2 and $5 a piece on Facebook. Okay. So they're dirt cheap. They sell like crazy. And I'm still doing that to this day for my company. Okay. If you don't know me, I run a home improvement company myself. Pretty new. I've been a sales rep my entire life, but as far as me being the sole and only owner of the company, pretty new. We're already doing real good sales volume. And basically all of our leads right now are just coming from Facebook ads. So we haven't even kind of really moved into the all the other avenues of advertising yet with my company. All right. So what we're going to be going over here is stuff that I'm actually doing. None of it's theory, none of it's stuff I read in the book, anything like that. It's all stuff I've been basically doing my entire career when I was a sales rep, now owning my own company, and then when I was doing marketing for a few of the biggest home improvement companies in California. I think one of them is one of the biggest in the entire country, and I was one of the marketing directors for that company also. Okay. So let's jump into that. So I guess we'll title this podcast something like, I basically have 3 things that I want to go over here. And so I'm probably going to title this podcast 3 tips to ultra high converting home improvement ads. Okay. So I'm going to be kind of applying it to Facebook, but that's basically what we're going to be going over. So 3 tips to ultra high converting home improvement ads. And with that, I guess let's jump into it. So tip number 1, hold on, let me back up for a minute. First and foremost, I want to address something. So there's a lot of people that don't want to do Facebook ads, or they object to doing Facebook ads. 1, because they've never gotten any results with it. Very few people have it figured out in our industry. But 2, everyone says, why don't you just do Google? All right. Google is where people that are want to do work are looking for a contractor. People aren't on Facebook looking for a contractor, right? That's the big argument against it. So when people go to Google, they're actively searching for a contractor, right? When they're on Facebook, they're there for entertainment, right? They're there to like run for president. They're there to like try to cure, like solve viruses and stuff, right? Join ISIS. That's why people are on Facebook, right? They're not on Facebook looking for a roof. When they're looking for a roof, they're going to go to Google, right? So that's the kind of the big argument. Okay. So here's the thing though. That is true. Okay. I'll give you that. But here's the thing. Last time I checked, there was like 3 billion people on Facebook. Okay. And I think the last time I checked was like over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. So that number is probably a lot higher now. I haven't checked. Probably should have done my research before I jumped into this, but It's probably higher now. The bottom line is everyone's on Facebook, right? Every single person pretty much has a Facebook, unless you're like a weirdo, right? So although someone is going on Google to look for a roofing contractor, they're looking on Google for a roofing contractor. But those people are also on Facebook, okay? They're not looking on Facebook for a roofing contractor, but those same people are on Facebook, okay? So I have two options. I can get in front of them on Google and I could pay $100 a lead or $50 a lead or like $10 a click or whatever it is. Or I can get in front of that exact same person on Facebook with a paid, sponsored Facebook ad. And I can capture that same person for like between $2 and $5. Okay. So I go to Google where all the competition is, where it's super saturated and the prices are hiked way up because every single contractor wants to advertise on Google, and I could pay the $100 per lead, or I can get in front of that exact same person on Facebook and I could pay like $3. Okay. It's kind of like if let's say you're like a plumber, right? And you're at Home Depot, okay? And there's homeowners inside of Home Depot, and they're inside of Home Depot, like at the water heater section, looking at water heaters, right? They're inside there looking at water heaters. You could see them like through the window looking at water heaters, right? So they're at Home Depot to buy a water heater, okay? They're serious about buying a water heater. Well, when they leave Home Depot, they're no longer. That's it, right? They went there, they looked at the water heaters, and now they're leaving, right? Well, what if you were just standing outside of Home Depot and when they come out, right? Or maybe you're like at the gas station down the street, right? You like follow them to the gas station, and then you jump out of the car at the gas station. You say, "Hey man, just want to give you this flyer. We're actually a plumbing contractor. We're having these crazy deals going on right now on hot water heaters. I'm not sure if you're looking for a hot water heater or not, but either way, I'm going to give you this because if you are looking for one, you'll probably want to know the deal. And if not, then you could just give it to like one of your friends or something, right?" And then that guy's going to say, "Oh, I actually am interested in a hot water heater. I was just at Home Depot looking at one," right? Same thing, right? You're just capturing the people in a different spot, okay? Just because they left Home Depot, does that mean they're no longer interested in buying a hot water heater? No, it just means that they went somewhere else and you captured them at that other place that they went, which is Facebook. Okay, that's how it works. Now, not a very good analogy, right? Because usually if someone goes to Home Depot because they're interested in a water heater, they're just going to buy one right there. But when people go to Google looking for a roofing contractor, they're not buying a roof online, right? So you can still capture them at a different area online. But I'm sure you kind of get what I'm saying, right? So anyways, that's the reason why I use Facebook ads. And I think Facebook ads and direct mail are the two very best ways to do advertising. And that's probably, there's a whole bunch more reasons, which is probably something we'll go over in a later podcast episode. Okay. So let's jump into these 3 tips for ultra high converting home improvement ad campaigns. Tip number 1 is having more than one call to action on your ad. Okay. So tip number 1 is having more than one call to action on your ad. Okay. And what I mean by that is when you run an advertisement, it'll say, say you run a Facebook ad, right? And the call to action on your Facebook ad is whatever action you want them to do at the end, right? So if you're handing out a flyer, it usually says call whatever number for your free estimate, right? If you run a Facebook ad, it's going to say call, or it's going to say click below, go to the landing page, enter your info, and then one of our specialists is going to call you for a free quote or free design or something like that, right? That's your call to action, okay? And so tip number 1 is you want to have more than one call to action on your ads, okay? You want to give them more than one way to respond to the advertisement, okay? So for example, if you're running a Facebook ad and you give them an offer, we have this offer going on, blah, 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 blah. Click the link below and enter your info, and we'll get someone to come out there and show you what's going on, right? Well, if someone clicks that link and they go to a landing page, that wants them to enter all their personal information in a spammy looking ClickFunnels website, right? There's going to be a lot of people that don't want to do that. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of people that read your ad and are like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'm interested, right? And they click on the link and they go to the landing page. But then when they got to enter their information, there's going to be a good number of people that are just like, I don't want to fucking enter all my shit right there. These people are just going to be probably spamming my email, or how do I know if it's even real? What's ClickFunnels, right? What's lead pages? Like, this doesn't look that well put together. It doesn't look that legit, right? Bottom line is there's going to be a lot of people that just bounce right there, right? There's going to be some, if you're running a good ad, there's obviously going to be a good amount of people that do enter their info, right? And those are probably really hot leads. But what you don't think about is all the people that go on there and don't enter their info, right? Even if your ad's doing really, really good, right? You're getting a bunch of leads from it. You're still not considering the people that probably go there and they just don't want to respond to your ad that way, okay? So there's going to be a small percentage of people when you're running an ad that do go through with everything, right? They do the landing page thing and they respond. They put their info in the landing page. You call them, you get out to the house, you sell it, right? But the people that don't want to do that, that don't feel comfortable entering their information online, they might feel more comfortable texting in, right? Or they might be like old school and they might feel more comfortable to call in, right? Or even lower friction, maybe they prefer to just send an email, right? And if people still don't want to send an email, well, I'm sure some of those people would be willing to just drop a comment below, right? Drop a comment saying, need a roof, right? Need a roof. Drop a comment below that says, need a roof if you're interested. A ton of people would be willing to do that, right? Because it's a really low friction thing, right? Probably not as hot of lead, but it's still a lead, right? And it's still a lead you wouldn't have normally got because those are people that didn't want to go through the whole thing, the landing page thing, and enter all their info in there. Get what I'm saying? So the reason I get such high response on my Facebook ads is because I'll do the landing page thing, even though that's kind of phasing out, which is something we will probably talk about at some point. But I still do the landing page thing. So I'll run an ad and it'll say to click the link below. And then, obviously it'll go to a landing page, get the name, email, phone number, right? All that kind of stuff. So I can call them and book an appointment. But then my ad will also say, so it'll say click the link or text the word quote to 727-274 or drop a comment below or drop the word quote below in the comment section to grab your free voucher or whatever your offer is, right, in your ad. Okay. And so that opens it up to the people. Now they have options, right? Now the people that don't want to respond to the landing page and would have just bounced, now they're probably willing to either at least drop a comment. I mean, that's like the easiest thing ever, right? There's like no friction with that. They at least could be dropping a comment, maybe text in, right? The people that don't want to text in, maybe they feel comfortable dropping a comment. The people that aren't comfortable dropping a comment or texting in, they might be comfortable doing the landing page thing, right? The point is you're opening up the options to capture a higher percentage of people, right? So maybe you capture a certain amount of people just at the landing page and you get a 3% increase in response to your ad by adding an option for them to text in. And then you get another 2% response rate by having your email address on there for them to email you, right, for a quote. And then you get another 10% response rate for them to drop a comment below, right? Now all of a sudden your ad went from a 3% response rate to like a 15% response rate. right? And if you do that, you will see a dramatic jump as long as your ad's good, right? All the other stuff has to come into play, obviously, right? But if you just do that one thing alone on a good ad, just that alone, you'll see a tremendous increase in the response of the ad that you have running. Okay. So that's tip number one. I'm going to try not to expand on these things too much. I'm going to try to give you just kind of the overview because I want to keep these podcasts between like 45 minutes to an hour at max. So I want to try not to ramble on too much. Okay. So that's tip number one, more than one call to action. Tip number two is more than one offer on your ad. Okay. Now this kind of goes against like all the marketing gurus, right? And kind of almost like traditional advertising, it kind of goes against, right? Right. I'm trying to think of the old saying that's kind of like a confused mind always says no, or whatever that old sales thing is, right? Basically what it means is the more options they have, the more likely they are to just do nothing, right? I think on one of my videos, if you guys have been following me for any length of time, I think on one of my videos, I talked about like a door, an entry door company where they had like 32 different doors for the homeowner to pick from. And we narrowed that down to 6 different doors, and their close rate went like through the roof, right? Because they narrowed it down from 32 different doors to 6, right? I don't know if it was 32, but it was like some crazy number that they're trying to have people pick from. And they're wondering why they can't get a deal locked down on the first meeting, right? But in this case, I do it in a very specific way. So what I'm doing is I'm running an offer that's targeted at people that are ready to do the work right now. Okay. That's obviously what I want. I want people that are ready, that want to do work right now. Right. So my main offer on my ad is targeted to people that want to do work right now. Okay. So get a free estimate or whatever it is. Right. But then I'm also going to have a secondary offer for the people that aren't ready to respond to that ad and set up an estimate appointment right now, but will be ready in the near future, or maybe they're just on the fence, right? They're not willing to commit to the estimate appointment yet, but they would be willing to commit to a different offer that doesn't involve you coming out just yet. Maybe some information or something helpful or something like that, right? And to understand what I mean here, you really have to understand how a market breaks down, okay? So let's take Facebook ads, right? We're using Facebook ads for an example. So when you go into your Facebook ads manager and you put together your custom audience or whatever, right? You target all the interests, right? People that are looking for a roof, stuff like that. Facebook's going to spit out what that audience size looks like, right? They're going to say there's 10,000 people within a 25-mile radius of San Diego that are looking for a roof, right? So let's use that example of 10,000, okay? So here's the thing. You have to understand how a market breaks down. So out of that 10,000 people that Facebook says are looking for a roof or whatever, only 3% of those people are going to be people that are ready to do the work right now, okay? 3%, that's it, out of that 10,000 people. And that 3% is what every single other contractor is targeting, right? They're targeting them, with things like get a free estimate now, win a free TV when you sign with us. Those are the offers that only attract the 3%. Someone doesn't care if they're going to get a free TV if they sign with you, if they're not ready to do the work yet. That's really, really appealing if they are ready to do the work right now. But if they're not ready to do the work right now, if they're not going to be ready for like another 2 weeks, they're going to look at that and say, oh, that's cool. That's a cool offer. I'm going to have to remember that in 2 weeks when we're ready to do the work, right? So 3% is ready to do the work right now. 25% of that market is people that are never going to do business with you. It's people that usually have like a friend or family member in the business. So they're not going to use you, right? Their dad's like a painter or something. So they're not going to go with you because their dad's a painter, right? 2% of that market is just the other. It's usually like marketing people or people that are just searching for like a roof or something online, but they have no intention of buying it, right? Maybe they're not even a homeowner, right? And then there's a big 70% of that market that is what I call the maybes in the future business. Okay, the maybes in the future business. So the maybes are people that the husband and wife have been talking about doing the kitchen for the last like 3 months, right? They've been thinking about it. They know they need to get it done. The drawers are like not opening right. One of the cabinets is like falling apart, right? They want to get it done. They have the money. They know they need to get it done. They just are not at the point just yet where they're actively looking for a contractor. They're at the point right before that, right? So those are the maybes. And then the future business is people that are going to do the work like in the next 2 weeks, the next month, the next 3 months, right? That's 70% of the market. And that 70% is that's where the gold's at, right? That's what every single other contractor is just ignoring. And that's where the money is really at, because by the time that they go to Google and are looking for a contractor and they become that 3% of the market, well, when they go to Google and look for you, they're not only responding to your ad on Google, they're responding to your ad, they're also responding to the 5 other contractors that are probably cheaper than you, and they probably compete on price. And although you're good at selling and can get past that with the homeowner, why even put yourself through that stress and make the sales situation harder trying to convince them why they should pay $10,000 more than the low bidders, right? Why even put yourself in that situation when you could get in front of those people before they get to that point where they're going on Google actively looking for a contractor and just convincing them just to work with you? Okay. So any good ad is going to capture 73% of the market. Okay. And this is how I run ads. And this is why I get such high response and generate so many leads from them. So, excuse me. So any good home improvement ads can capture 73% of the market. All of the people that are ready to go right now, right? And we're going to go out to those houses, sell those ones, obviously. And then we're also going to capture all the maybes and all the future business, okay? And then what we're going to do, and that's our secondary offer, right? We have one offer on our ad is to capture the 3%. The other offer is to capture the 70%, right? The maybes in the future business. And then what we're going to do with those people is we're going to put them on a company mailing list or maybe a company email list or text drip campaign or something like that, right? And then we're going to stay in front of them with a very specific information and a very specific way, specific strategy as to not piss them off, right? But we're going to stay in front of them. And what happens when we stay in front of them is we usually push over a lot of the maybes, push them over the fence right away so we can get out to those houses right away. And then we have no competition, right? Because they're not having the 5 other contractors out. And then the future business, the people that are going to be doing the work in like the next month, we can stay in front of them. So when they are ready to do the work, if we've been sending them the right stuff the whole time, then when they become ready to do the work, they're only going to use us. Okay. They're not going to go on Google and search out a random contractor because they're going to use us if we're sending them the right stuff. Right. So whenever you're running an ad, there's going to be the 3% is going to respond to your ad. Some of the 3%, if your ad's really good, you'll get some of the 3% to respond. But just know that every single time you run an advertisement, you're also getting a huge portion of the market. That 70% is also seeing your ad. And there's a whole bunch of those people that are seeing your ad that see your offer and say, oh, wow, look, honey, look at this offer. That's an awesome offer that this company's doing. We're going to have to save this and remember it in a month when we're ready to do our kitchen remodel, right? And then what happens in a month? They forgot all about you. They forgot about your offer. And then they just go to Google and hire a random contractor, right? Whereas if you would have stayed in front of them the right way, then in that month's time when they're ready to do the work, they would have just came straight to you right away, right? What you're doing when you do this is you secure future business. Okay. So that's number 2, more than one offer. And then our third one right here, which basically kind of blends together with number 2, is when I run Facebook ads and just any kind of ad, my main focus is not generating leads. my main focus is broadening my base. Okay, that's my main strategy. All I'm focusing on when I'm running ads is broadening my base. Okay. What is broadening your base? Well, what is your base, right? What's your base? Your base is your close friends and your family. That's your base, right? Everyone has a base. So your close friends and your family. So let me ask you this. If you're a roofer, right, and one of your family members needs a roof, who's the first person they're coming to? Are they going to the Google and hiring a random contractor, or are they coming straight to you? They come straight to you every single time, right? If you're good friends that know you're a roofing contractor need a roof, who are they coming to? Are they going to a random contractor, or are they coming to you? They're going to you every single time, right? They're not even like, they're not doing anything. They're just coming straight to you. There's not even a thought in their mind, right? Also, if one of your friends or family members comes across one of their friends or someone they know that is talking about needing a roof, well, your base is going to refer those people straight to you, right? They're going to say, hey, my cousin's a roofer. Here's his number. You should call him, right? So your base is always going to go straight to you for work, and they're going to refer everyone to you. It's like you have feelers out there, right? The problem is you cannot run a business just on your base, right? And they try to teach you that in like in a sale, like if you like an old school sales job, right? They say hit your power base, right? Start calling your friends and family, start bugging your friends and family, and sell them, you know, like whatever, right? Some MLM thing, right? But you can't run a business just off your base. Most people's bases is like 20, maybe 30 people, right? It's very limited. You can get work from that, but you can't run it. You can't grow and scale a business off that, and it's not predictable, right? So that's the main holdback of your base. What broadening your base is taking that 20, 30 people and turning it into 100 people, 500 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people. Okay. So just like how your friends and your family always go straight to you for work and they refer people to you that need work done, if it's what you do, imagine if that base went from 20 people to 10,000 people in your town. 10,000 people were, whenever they need a roof, they come straight to you. And if they know anyone, if they come across anyone at all that needs a roof or the work that you do, they refer those people straight to you. How do you think your business would grow if that was the case? Okay. And let me tell you this, out of 10,000 people, if you had 10,000 people in your base, that's a big enough number where there's always going to be people needing work. There's always going to be people having issues with their roof. A base that big, if you stay in front of them the right way on a company mailing list or emailing list or whatever, and you build that bond with them in a strategic way, that you could run your entire business just off that. Okay. If you have an email list of like 20,000 people, which is not hard, does not take long to get to if you're running your ads the right way. If you have a thing of 20,000 people, you could send out one single email to that list and you'll be booked for like a year with work. Even if you're a bigger company, out of that many people, if you send out a good offer, you'll be booked like for a year, right? And then you're also going to have leads, literally appointments trickling in every single day just from sending stuff out to them regularly, as long as it's the right kind of stuff. Okay. Oops. That was my office phone. I don't know if you guys heard the phone ringing. Because I'm still in the office, but we're not going to edit that out. We don't edit here, mainly because I don't know how. But what was I talking about? So your base of 20,000 people, right? If you had a base of 20,000 people, if you send out an email to them, you'll be booked for like a year with work. right? Here's where I was going with this. You're paying Google and you're paying Facebook ads or you're paying Google, you're paying Facebook, you're paying all these companies to send traffic. Those companies, right? Google, Facebook, all them, they have an audience, right? They have billions of people as an audience. And you're paying to advertise with them, and you're paying them to send their audience to your ad. Okay. Well, if I have 20,000 people on a company email list, right? Am I going to pay $50 or $100 for Google? Or am I going to pay, even though Facebook's way cheaper, am I going to pay one of those companies to advertise? Or am I just going to send out an email to my own audience of 20,000 people for free, right? I now own the traffic, okay? It's all about owning the traffic. So you're taking the traffic from Facebook and Google and you're putting it into your own database, and now you own the traffic and you can market to them for free. Okay, and what you're doing when you do that, you're also building an asset for your business. Okay, if you ever want to sell the business, you're not selling like company trucks and stuff like that, right? The value is in the list, right? The value is in the trusted brand if you're that big, but more so the value is in the list. If you have a list of 20,000 people and they're on like an automated mailing campaign where they just get stuff automatically, and like appointments are coming in every single day from that, that's extremely valuable, and that's something someone's going to buy for a lot of money, right? So that's that. I know there was something else I wanted to say about that, but the phone ringing kind of messed me up. Yeah, I can't remember. I should probably take notes on these things. I'm not really a note guy, though. I kind of just go off the cuff with this stuff. I feel like that's a good way to tell when someone really knows what they're talking about also, is if someone comes into like a podcast or like a training or something, and then they just put like slides on the screen, like Google Slides or something, and they're trying to train you or teach you something. They literally just read word for word what's on the slide, and they go to the next slide and do the same thing. For me, that's like the biggest like telltale sign ever that these people don't know what the hell they're talking about, right? They probably just read a book the week before, and then now they just jumped into some training and they're making like slide presentations for you, right? So that's that. Broadening your base. That's the main strategy I use. And I think that's pretty much it for this. I know there was kind of some more stuff I wanted to go into about that, but I literally cannot remember what else I was going to talk about with broadening your base. The main thing is you have to send the right stuff to people, right? Okay, I know where I was going with this now. So when it comes to your base, the reason your friends and family like refer people to you and they have such a strong bond with you is because you've known them for a long time, right? And certain things have happened that built that bond, right? So when it comes to bonding, there's two main things, like the two main pillars of bonding with people is frequency and experience, right? So intimate life experiences and frequency. Okay. That's why your friends and your close family are so close with you. And that's why they're at the point where they're always going to refer people straight to you, right? Frequency, you've had a lot of frequency with them, right? Obviously, you've been around them your whole life or whatever, right? Or if it's a good friend, you've probably been around them a lot, right? And then experience is the other one, right? Intimate life experiences. Okay. Now I've never been in the military or anything, but just kind of give you an example of this. I know people that have gone through stuff there, right? And I know that like soldiers and stuff that have been in combat, one of the things they'll say is they have like a stronger bond with their brothers that they were in combat and stuff with, than sometimes like their own immediate family. Okay. And that is partly because of frequency, right? They were together the whole time, right? And experience, right? They went through some shit together, right? And if you could apply those two things in a systematic way on an automated like mailing list or emailing list to all of that 70% of the market that you're going to capture with your ads, it doesn't have to take 30 years to make someone your base like it did with your friends and family. You could get someone to that point very, very quickly within like 2 weeks time. Okay. If you're sending them the right stuff and you're hitting on frequency and you're hitting on experience the right way, you could turn people into your base very, very easily, because bonding just comes down to the principles of bonding. And if you apply those things to people in the right way, then it does the same exact thing that happens to, your friends and family, to soldiers, stuff like that. Okay. Again, never been in the military, just going by what people have told me, right? So if I'm wrong or whatever, forgive me. But so that's about it. Okay. So the 3 tips to ultra high converting home improvement campaigns. Number 1 is you want to have more than one call to action on your ad. Number 2 is you want to have more than one offer on your ad, right? You want to capture the full 73%, all the people that are ready to go right now, also all of the maybe/future business, right? You want to build up that big company database and secure future business for yourself, right? You also want to have it so you don't have to pay for ads anymore, because you have your own ad platform that you can send emails to for free. And then number 3 is broadening your base, right? Taking the base that you have now, the people that are so close to you that they're just always going to refer work to you. They're always going to come straight to you. You want to take that from those 20 people that you have in your base right now, 20, 30 people, and you want to expand that to thousands and thousands of people in your area. And once you get to that point, that's how markets are dominated. You can go into pretty much any market and you can run a strategy like that. And as long as you can capture people quickly and put them on a list, and if you run the right kind of frequency, bonding, experience strategy to them on a company mailing list or email list, you can go in and dominate that market extremely, extremely easily, because all it comes down to is whoever controls the audience dominates. Okay. Whoever controls the eyes of the market dominates the market. Okay. Whoever controls the eyes of the market dominates the market, period. All right. So that's it. I don't know. I don't really have like a timer or anything. I don't have a clock in here. So I don't know how long we've been going for, but I assume we're around the 45-minute to an hour mark. If I went way over that, I'm sorry. We're going to try to keep it around there in future episodes. And then, like I said, the future episodes are going to be a lot more legit. We're going to have a camera set up in here, so you're not just seeing that stupid background right there. And then we're going to be having some really, really cool guests on. Okay. So do me a favor and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Okay. I want to build up the channel. If no one's listening, I'm just going to stop doing it. Okay. So subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or anything, or just any feedback at all, drop a comment below. It takes like 2 seconds. Just say this was awesome, or this sucked, or shut up. Right. Just leave a comment below. Okay. I think it does something with like the algorithm, the video gets more popular, whatever. Right. So make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications or whatever, like the video, comment. All of those things I just told you to do take like less than 30 seconds. So just do it. Okay. And then I'm probably going to do like some cool giveaways for like the first 100 people that subscribe. Okay. So I'm going to give you something cool. So if you're in the first 100 people that subscribe to this, once we hit 100, I'm going to give something really cool away to you guys. And it's not going to be something cheesy. It's going to be something cool. All right. So that's about it for this podcast. This is episode number 1. Let me know below what you thought about it. Any feedback, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode.